Hey everyone, Trina here. Today we're going to be working with some papers that we created, and I've glued them down to the tissue paper that I printed onto these pieces of paper, and I'm going to print over them. This is a technique called Chine Colle, which is a printmaking term for when you glue down paper to the paper you're going to print on. So this is sort of a faux way of doing it in a non-traditional way. With the Gelli plate. So I've added in some of this bronze, and I'm going to add in some of this baby blue, and we're going to print over the top of that one little scrap of paper and see how it comes out. Oh, and I got some new stencils. Forgot about the stencils. I got a pack of stencils from Amazon, and I'm just going to lightly apply them to all of these pieces. So you can see a little bit of the stencil, and then I'm going to add in some phthalo blue. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's Payne's gray. Add in some Payne's gray to make some darker tones. And I'm really liking this layering effect way of printing these multiple times. I'm just going to add this just to the bottom. And you can see that makes a real sort of almost dramatic landscape. The next is this yellow ochre with the pink. I'm just going to do a little ghost printing here. Let's see what comes up. Not a lot, but still another layer. So here I'm adding in way too much of the Payne's gray. So we're going to take some of that off. And if you haven't seen any of my other videos on the jelly making tutorials, I encourage you to check it out. I'll leave the playlist up above. Excuse me. I really like this sort of light bluish gray that we made there. I'm really having so much fun making these prints. These I'm going to draw back into, and with probably some just graphite. Keep it real simple. I'm going to add some more marks into them. Excuse me. So here I'm adding in some of the sort of bronze color. And I really like this sort of tree. This tree stencil is really kind of fun. And I don't want everything to be perfect, so I'm just sort of experimenting here with making some interesting layers and trying to create some depth within these pieces. I like that one. So shiny. So here is the another piece of the tissue paper, and you can see that I laid these down with just some matte medium to adhere them to the paper. I'm adding in some gold and some bronze and a little bit more of the Payne's gray and some brown. Brown with that gold is really nice. I'm trying to get a really thin layer here because I don't want them to be too thick. I've also found that if the layer is too thick, it doesn't really work as well. I just laid down some dots, some little circles. I'm really liking how these are turning out. I wish that I wouldn't have covered up so much of the pieces that I laid down, but this is the first time we're doing this, so we're gonna have to obviously have some practice. So here I've laid down some of that cream vanilla color. And I like working in sections on these. I think working in smaller sections and adding in just a little bit of color really helps with the practice of it. And I'm not going to do that pink one over there. It's not really in the feel of what I'm doing right now. So I'm adding in some more brown. And some more of the Payne's Gray, my favorite. And I've sort of abandoned my bigger brayer. I kind of like this little tiny brayer. I think it makes really cool marks within the, when I'm brayering, so I kind of like that. Taking a little bit away, adding in some lines. Kind of trying to thin that out, and it's not really working so well. So we're just going to print this one. That was kind of nice. It's kind of got some nice marks. Now I'm going to add in this color, which is phthalo green. I thought this might be a neat contrast to the gold and the blues. It gets a little Christmassy here, which I was kind of not really thinking about, but I kind of like how bright it is. And we're going to mix it together and dull it down just a little bit. I like those colors. Has a real sort of ocean-y effect. Took a bit of tissue paper there and took away some of that gold and a little bit more of the green because it's a lot. A little bit of this green goes a long way. So I'm going to add in more of that bronze color there. And we'll print this and pull this print, see how it comes out. Oh, I really like that. It's really shiny, but I really like it. So let's continue on. The plate's starting to get good. I wasn't intending to go this far, but the plate gets good after about 5 or 6 pulls. So we're adding more bronze. And I've really been grooving on these metallics lately. They become some of my favorites. I love how they add just sheen to the pieces, and adding in more Payne's Gray. Doing a little bit of this sort of Moroccan stencil, add some textures. And that one turned out really nice. You can add in some ochres to this, layer that on top, make a little sort of greenish gold color. Again, removing a little bit of it because I get so carried away with putting the paint on. It's not like, you know, when you're painting, I haven't learned proper portion control of my paint yet, so still working on that. Don't forget, we're going to go live on Friday at 2 o'clock. And if there's something you want me to do, I'll probably just be making more jelly prints. And maybe doing a little session of drawing back into these prints that I've made. So feel free to leave a comment below or in the community tab about what you would like to see in that next video. Yeah, I'm really liking this phthalo green color, especially mixed with the gold. I'm gonna add some brown here to see what we get. And I think these colors are really interesting together. Not a color that I use very often, but you've heard me say that before. I don't use a lot of green, but we're going to try it out. We're trying new things. Here I'm adding in some ochre to get that phthalo blue more down to a green color. And I really like mixing the colors on the palette rather than mixing them up before I put them on the jelly plate. A little bit more stencil here. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on lives or any other fun things that I'm going to be doing this week. I've got some some interesting things that we're going to try. I don't want to give too much away. Well, I'll leave a message as I'll post in the community as it goes forward. And I really like how that just sits up there on the plate by itself, and we'll see how that comes out. That one turned out really nice too. So I want to go back and print over some of these and draw back into them. This one's really nice. I like the area right there. Some fun little patterns. This one came out really nice with the tree stencil. And that's about it. Have a nice day. Bye.